Hello, this is Dr. Vince Belanzi, and I want to talk a little bit about what I saw in the news the other day. In fact, it was just very recently. It said that diabetes is epidemic. Now, we know that, but the article seemed to say that more people are catching diabetes. Let's back up for a minute. You don't just catch diabetes. For the most part, diabetes is created. We've talked about that before. It's your lifestyle. It's how you're taking care of yourself. It's the fact that you pushed your body so far that it can't control the blood sugar levels anymore. What's the problem with that? If you don't control blood sugar, you're going to make advanced glycation end products. You're going to change structure and function. You change how your body works, how it feels, how it looks by taking in too much sugar. So stop altering your body. Diabetes isn't higher because more people are catching it in the air. Diabetes is higher because fewer people are taking care of themselves. There's a number of people who watch what they do and take care of themselves. But I'm talking to the people who don't. Or maybe you know somebody who's really not being careful on what they choose to eat and how much they choose to exercise and what kind of a lifestyle that they live. We want to talk about diabetes or anything else. We have to talk about the mechanism that causes it. And you don't just catch these things. They're not there because your family had them. They're not there because you were exposed to something. They're there because you haven't taken the time to take care of yourself. And the answer isn't in drugs, okay? Yes, you can take a drug that will control your blood sugar. You can take a drug that will control your hypertension. You can take a drug that will control, but control is the key word. Why are you letting a doctor have control of your life? Short term, you find a problem, the doctor can take control, and just like you would try to stop a runaway truck, you can have the doctor stop things from going too far. But that's it. It's your truck. Fix it. Figure out a strategy. Drugs, again, are not there for long-term use. They're there for the doctor to reach in, take control, and stop something from happening. Whatever drug we want to talk about. But we're focused on diabetes. You don't want to be dependent on a drug to control your blood sugar. You can do that yourself. So why don't you? Learn what it takes to take care of yourself. Diabetes is not about what prescription you're going to take. It's not about how many units of insulin you may end up taking. It's about how well you take care of yourself. So, if you've had to see a doctor and they've pointed out to you that you're not controlling your blood sugar, maybe they've given you the diabetic label, it's time for you to set a strategy so that you don't need the drugs. And you can do it. We do it in the office every day. We work with diabetics, and we make them not diabetic. We don't do it, they do it. And you can do it too. If you're finding that after a meal, you have to go take a nap, if you're finding that your day is full of highs and lows, and you go from being cranky to being hyperactive, you need to step back and realize what you're doing to yourself. You're the one creating diabetes. Now, it's true, there are a few cases where diabetes happens. You can be born with the inability to make insulin. That's type 1 diabetes. It's a very small percentage. You can have a few diseases, a very small percentage again, where your pancreas can't function. By far the majority, well over 95%, are type 2 diabetic. It was created by lifestyle. It was created by the person and how they live. The choices they make in food, the choices they make in their activity level, and other choices they make in what they expose themselves to. The immune system plays into it. But the biggest problem is being able to control blood sugar. Sugar is a fuel. You do need some in order to perform. But if you don't keep it under control, it's like pouring gas into your car and lighting a match. It's going to go up. So if you are on a medication, or if the doctors even mentioned that you might need a medication because you're coming close to diabetes, then it's time to set a strategy. Change your life. You can do it. If you've got hypoglycemia, that's not a disease, it's a reaction. Your body's putting out more and more insulin. It's driving your blood sugar lower and lower after a spike. You may need to go get an oral glucose tolerance test, or at least look at something like hemoglobin A1C. There are other things that can be tested to see more what's going on with your body. Your fasting insulin level, what is that? Maybe it should be tested. If you're producing a lot more insulin than you need when the sugar is to the level it should be, then you're on your way to diabetes. That's what causes hypoglycemia. You keep putting out more and more insulin when it's not necessary because you took your blood sugar so high. You ate too much junk. Your blood sugar goes way up. Your body responds by putting a whole bunch of insulin out. Then you have to go take a nap. Or maybe you just feel tired. You're falling asleep at your desk. The truth is, you've created the problem. And if you keep doing that, your body will give up. That's diabetes. You didn't catch it. It didn't affect you genetically necessarily. There's some genetic components, but it's really how you've lived your life. So if you are diabetic or you know a diabetic, talk to them. If you're the diabetic, talk to yourself. Change your lifestyle. Change your habits. Start learning what glycemic index is. I want you to stay at a lower glycemic index. You can look it up on the internet. It's a good way to gauge your choices. If you stay at a lower glycemic index, you're forced to eat better food. If you eat food that's a lower glycemic index, it's not going to send your body into that high sugar shock, and you're going to help yourself a lot. If you'll exercise and teach your body how to become more insulin sensitive, so the insulin works better, your body won't have to put out as much. It won't be pushed to the point where it has to give up. You won't become diabetic. You don't have to be diabetic. It's a choice. It's a choice you've made. So make a different choice. Why would anybody want to give up control of their life to somebody else? This is about your body. This is about you. You can let somebody else work on your car. You can let somebody else control your second house or whatever. You can give those things up. Why give yourself up? Take care of yourself. You have that choice. You really have that responsibility. Doctors aren't there to control you for the rest of your life. They're there for the acute circumstance. They're there for the point where you can't get it under control. And then they should hand it back to you. So start taking a look at what's going on with you. If you're on a bunch of medications, then you need to get on it to figure out how you're going to get off them. There are very few medications that you have to be on for a lifetime. There are a few, but not very many. Most all medications otherwise, there's a strategy. There's a reason that you're using the medication, and you can get your body to take over again. So learn how to do that. Whatever medication you're on. Remember, the medication is nothing but the doctor taking control. It's like giving the wheel to the doctor and letting him drive or her drive. That's not the way I want to live my life. Why are you living your life that way? This is Dr. Vince Palazzi. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you again.
Woo, woo, woo.